Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Graveyard Shift, where two idiots talk horror.
So today we are talking about the newest Alien movie, Alien Romulus.
Yeah, this was one heck of an experience for both of us, because we literally just watched it. How long was it? Has it been like 20 minutes?
Yeah. Lot of thoughts. So
Yeah.
this movie definitely connected a lot to the previous entries in the franchise, which I really liked and respected. It talked about Prometheus, and there was some stuff about Alien Covenant. But I'm gonna go to Hayden and see what his thoughts were first.
It was definitely a thrill. It was more horror than sci-fi like the past two were. So if any of you remember from, correct me if I'm wrong, I might, because I might not remember the titles of the movies, but Prometheus and Covenant.
Yes.
Yeah, those two were more sci-fi than this one was. This one was just straight up horror.
Yes, this one was definitely a lot more like the original Alien and definitely heavily inspired by Alien Isolation.
Now, before we even start, your hosts are
Graham?
and Hayden. So like Graham said, we are here to discuss Alien Romulus. Now, what were your thoughts on the whole alien process in this movie? The alien process.
I was expecting to see eggs.
You're expecting to see eggs.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the facehugger.
Yes,
okay.
the facehugger eggs. So I was definitely disappointed by that. But honestly, we got some very classic callbacks to the other Alien movies. You know, we had the chest burster scene.
Oh,
we
yeah,
had the
that was less gore than what we've seen in like the previous ones, wasn't it?
It was, but I also was very satisfied with it because we really haven't got a proper chest burster scene in this franchise for a really long time.
I know we haven't, because if you remember back to the first one, like, it really burst open.
Yes.
This one wasn't much of a burst. This was more of like I can't describe it.
It was more like it was what's the word? It was more like it was like, coming out of the womb, not, like bursting out.
Yeah, because this one looked like more of like the human body is actually fighting back, trying to keep it in, than us being like weak and it just bursting out of the chest.
Yeah. But I really like the X-ray machine that she
used. That was very handy.
And even though you saw her using it early on in the movie too, I'm like, okay, so that's how we're going to figure that out.
Was that even introduced in any of the other ones?
Not that I know of. Not that I can
because I don't recall that either. But that was a neat tool to actually use, because that gave you the experience of seeing what actually goes on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a very cool aspect of this movie. But going on from what I was saying, we, also had the alien, the Xenomorph, one of the Xenomorphs inside this movie, had his second mouth in someone else. So we haven't seen that for a long time inside this franchise. So we saw a lot of these classic moments that we've been wanting for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you remember back to, I believe, was it Prometheus that had the supposed first Xenomorph?
No, that was Covenant.
Covenant?
Because
not the full one, but the
well, because David was trying to make the perfect organism.
Okay, so I'm probably remembering names. Yeah. Deacon is the one that's one that was a mixture of the giant xenomorph facehugger, and the...
Was that the one that saw... No. I'm thinking of the...
It's the one with the pointy head. It's the pointy head xenomorph.
Yeah, no, that's Deacon, I believe.
Yeah, that's the one that did not have the tongue, like the inner mouth, but that one had it didn't. No, it didn't. It had like a separate jawline that just came like a shark.
You're right.
That one didn't have the tongue. But if I remember correctly, the next one had the tongue, right? Yeah. That one had the tongue.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part of this experience?
So you're gonna hear about this a lot in the podcast. I don't jump scare that much. Even Graham has seen me watch horror movies. I don't jump scare unless I'm really caught off guard. When I get caught off guard, that's my thrill. So and again, sorry for spoilers. We should have said this earlier, but sorry for spoilers if you have not seen this. In the movie, there's a scene where it's Rook, right?
Yes,
Rook.
Rook.
Rook is the name of the android
On Romulus, but it's not
Romulus.
the main android of the
movie. There's a scene where they're trying to grab something like a part or disc from him, and I was not expecting. This was when they're running from facehuggers, and also
it was even before the facehuggers.
No, it was after the facehuggers because they're trying to get out of the room.
No, the facehuggers were starting to come out, but they were trying to get out of the room because one of the guys got injured from the cryo.
Oh yeah, so this was before that. He's all of a sudden jumps, he's alive for a split second. It scared the heck out of me. I was not even expecting. I was expecting more of a facehugger or something else, not just this thing reaching out and trying to grab you.
Honestly, that I don't think got to me as bad. There was some other stuff later on in the movie that really made me jump. But honestly, that scene in particular, I don't know if I was looking away at that moment very quickly, getting a drink of my drink, or what. But all of a sudden, I just looked over to you, and I just see you jump really back, and I look back to the screen, and I see his hand fall down. And I was like, he got scared.
Yep. There's a second part that got me, but I'll wait till later to bring that up.
Yeah, because that was definitely near towards the end. That part definitely got both of us.
Yeah, that part will come back later later in this podcast. But god dang, that robot part that introduced me. I was like, okay, this one's going to be a good movie.
Yes,
I like it when I get jump scared for some reason.
No, I would definitely say if you want an alien movie that focuses on the horror and that feels like Alien and Aliens, stop listening, go watch, and come back.
Oh yeah,
because this felt like an Alien movie. It didn't, feel like we were in a space prison, running around with a poorly CGI alien.
That are dealing with predators.
Yeah. Although I would really like to see this director take on Predators versus Aliens.
Oh yeah, a new updated Predator that's not going to be like CGI.
Yes,
that's going to be awesome to see.
Yes, and I honestly would like the final girl of the movie, take that on, because she definitely had good moments inside this movie. She felt like Ripley.
Oh yeah, I got Ripley vibes off of her,
and I believe that's what they were trying to go for. Because she, her name is Rain.
Her name is Rain, but it's played by Kaylee. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that last name.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce it either.
I think Spaney,
something like that.
Sorry if we mispronounced. I did not mean to mispronounce, but it is Kaylee Spaney, if I'm reading that correctly.
But yeah, no. So she plays Rain, and Rain was definitely this, person who could handle herself. She could handle the.
But she adapted quick. Her character adapted quick.
Yes. And I definitely want to see more of this character.
It's not a character that would just stay in fear the entire movie. She adapted quick. She saw the problem and just tackled it.
How Ripley did.
Mm-hmm.
Ripley adopted quick inside, the original Alien movie. She still had that scared, panicked look on her face, during that last segment. But she definitely knew what she had to do, and she was focused on the mission, no matter what.
So, back to the movie, and I know we just discussed the jump scare feel, but is it me, or did that Xenomorph that we saw just breed so quickly through this entire movie?
I had that
because I got the feeling that there was going to be one in this movie. Okay, it's just being one. No, there ended up being a lot more than I thought there would be.
And see, that's what I'm curious about, because in Alien Covenant, at the very end, the android David plants an embryo inside the Colonist machine.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, the Ark. I can't think of what. Well, I guess it was Covenant.
I don't remember the name.
Well, it was on the ship Covenant. So I'm kind of wondering if something similar happened to this ship, because there was no queen. Like, I didn't see any traces of queen or any traces of an egg.
That's another thing that's so surprising me, because if you watch Prometheus and Covenant and you look at all the alien movies, Prometheus and Covenant never mention how it's all started except from spores.
And that was also referenced too. But now that you mention that was also referenced.
So then how does the queen even come into any of this?
I don't know. And that's what I'm trying to get my head around, is how did these space cycles come to be?
Well, it's all parasitic. Because if you look at Covenant and Prometheus, it is parasitic.
Well, that, and I'm also wondering if this was a callback to the end of Covenant, where they place an embryo in something, and they will have making these space cycles.
Now, you know, one was a queen that he made.
What?
You think he made a queen?
No, I think they were all visually making these space cycles out of something.
Okay.
I mean, I could be completely wrong too, but something wasn't adding up to how we know about Xenomorphs, and I'm curious on where it goes.
Well, there are different types. There's what do you think, 26?
Something like that, yeah.
Probably more.
Probably.
Oh, there's going to be more to come.
But I definitely think it was an interesting concept, because the entire time I was expecting an egg to appear. Even, up until they leave the ship, I was expecting some type of an egg. But there was nothing.
Well, okay, it's not technically an egg, but we'll talk about this later, but that wasn't an egg.
It did have an egg-like feature.
It did have an egg-like feature, but it was not an egg. Yes. It was more of a cocoon.
Yes. Yes.
So let's go talk about the process of the growth or the evolution of a parasite, going from the facehugger to the burster to shedding and everything else. So we know so far it's a parasite that's supposed to come from an egg.
Yes.
And turns into a facehugger. Yes. So the process of the facehugger.
Yes, it's either, like you said, that parasite, or a queen, like what we saw in Aliens.
Okay. So what we just learned from the movie is that the parasite, the facehugger, is heat sensitive.
And that was such an intense part of the movie.
That was, because I never thought about that.
But see, that's also a callback to Predator too, because isn't Predator the same?
Predator has the gear that shows him heat sensitive. Yeah. But I never thought that the Xenomorphs had that ability too. I didn't know they had that ability. I thought it was just more sound, or they could see through that whatever.
But see, do Xenomorphs even have eyes?
I felt like they had some kind of sensory.
I guess it's heat. I mean, they detect heat.
It's either heat or like sonar, like a bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was more like that. Now heat would make more sense because of the facehuggers now. But yeah, that scene was just. I wanted to tell the guy to put the microphone down. Screaming on the back of my head.
Oh my gosh! I was throw that thing across the room.
I know, throw it across the room
right now,
because they're not going to hear you throw it, but they'll hear it land.
Yeah, and they'll go to that spot. But honestly, so when the Xenomorph is fully grown, the one that got chest boosted and everything, when it's fully grown, I was like, this lady's dead. This lady's went home and dead. And then I couldn't make out what was in. It was in something. It made some type of cocoon or something.
Well, after it bursted from her, and every time I think of that bursting sound, I think of Spaceballs. Just bursting out, hoping you sing a little number. But when he bursts out, they shed. So is that supposed to be like a little, like a larva? What
You know,
is
I
it?
never thought
What
that.
is it that comes out of them? Like exactly? Is it like a larva or something?
All we know is it's called a chest burster.
Yeah, but it does look like a xenomorph, just more like a snake.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
guess technically a larva.
I guess so. I mean, that's, going on a deep end of the spectrum there on
Yeah, I feel
the
like
biology of these
we're gonna get
creatures.
attacked just by just making this stuff up. But to me, it looks like a larva. But that thing on the wall, though, is it just me, or was the thing on the wall? You probably haven't seen it.
Oh,
You're gonna.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Is it me, or did it look like a Again, sorry for my language, or for any kid that's listening. Is it, or did it look like a vagina on the wall?
I mean, now that you've mentioned it, yes. But I mean, that's also, when you think about the original Alien movie. I mean, think about what happens in that movie. You have this face hugger impregnating someone,
No,
and then
it just puts its seed in them, and it somehow. Okay, yeah, now I hear it. Now that I hear it,
so you have this face hugger who, I mean, this is like,
but it's not
videos about this.
It's not technically. Is it impregnating though? Because impregnating is more of the lower spectrum of the woman's body, not upper.
I don't think it matters. I mean, this is a alien.
Okay, fine.
So you have, this thing that impregnates you and it bursts out of you. So I mean, I guess it makes sense on it looking like a woman's body part.
It did. Did it not?
It did. No, you are right.
And at first, of course, right when we saw this, the head starts coming out, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is exactly a woman's body part.
But I mean, I also want to talk about the death that we got inside that scene because now I was waiting for this character. I did not like this character.
Oh yeah, the character that he would be the second one that died, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the second character to die.
Badon, I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's the guy in the yellow.
Bjorn.
Yeah. So him, I did not like him. So he got really.
He did play his character very well.
He did.
He was a complete asshole.
No. And this is nothing about Spike, the guy who plays him. Great job. Honestly, everyone
did a very good job of playing their characters.
I mean,
it was very convincing.
Yeah. So, he was just a complete joke the entire time, and he got a good death. I mean, he started stabbing the alien with like this,
like a taser.
Yeah,
like
taser
laser
type thing,
like a laser. Taser bad. Why did I say laser?
So he started stabbing the alien with the taser and like wounded it. So some acid started pouring out of the thing, and then the alien starts like spraying acid on him. So he like fell down and like just acid was just melting him at that point. So it's a pretty gruesome death.
Yeah, because xenomorphs have acid for blood. I don't know who thought of that. How does it eat them from the inside out? I had no idea. But
when you think about it, I mean, the xenomorphs have always been labeled as the perfect organism. It's something that Ash said back in the original movie. So they have like the perfect defense. You can't, kill it immediately because, the nuclear spray that has a new die. I mean, and though, have always been labeled as, hard to kill.
Yeah.
Because of that. But so going on from that, and then we, have the alien coming out, and that was such a cool scene.
Yeah, that one really showed like the birthing scene of the full xenomorph.
And it's been such a long time since we've gotten a xenomorph in like an actual alien movie. Because Alien Covenant, I mean, it had kind of a xenomorph, but it wasn't a xenomorph. I don't know what it was called.
Are you talking about? You're talking about the black one that jumped on the ship, right?
Yeah.
That one technically was, but not like a full-on.
Yeah, it wasn't full-on a xenomorph,
but it had the features.
But it also like died really quickly inside that movie too.
That's true.
And then we got like a chest burster, but we didn't really get to see it busting out of the chest.
No.
And then, there was like another, I think that one may have been like an actual Xenomorph at that point. But, again, we didn't really get to see it a whole lot. So seeing it coming out of that, you know, whatever was that cocoon was a really cool scene to see.
Yes. Now, how it goes from now on this ship, there was like several facehuggers.
Yes.
And I thought the lifespan of the facehugger was like low, because they lasted a while in this entire movie.
I mean, not really, because
I thought once they come out of the egg, they have to find a host immediately.
But that's another reason why I think these space huggers were like artificially grown. Like these space huggers, they didn't come out of an egg. They, came out of like those like little sacks.
Yeah, they're
like vacuum sacks.
They're cryo it's like a, what would you call it? It's like a cryo,
like a vacuum sack.
Yeah, cryo vacuum sack. Because you saw the counter, like the temperature was going up.
Yeah.
So they have to be in that cryo sleep.
Yeah. So like, where do these space cycles come from is the big question. And what was Romulus trying to do with it too?
That is true.
Because they also mentioned the spray from Covenant that David used to kill all the engineers.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that, because they had like the cancer and everything from Prometheus as like a hologram.
Yes.
So I'm really curious on how they're going to connect all of this.
Yeah, because there has to be. I don't know if they're starting from Prometheus and working their way up to Alien in general.
Well, remember, this takes place between Alien and Aliens.
Okay, so this takes place between. This is not like before.
So the very opening of this movie, you see the Nostromo destroyed.
Okay.
Because when you see the ship Romulus floating in space, just like the original Alien, open space, similarly, and you see a destroyed ship, that is the Nostromo.
Okay.
And they even mentioned Ripley, the android Brooke, mentions that, a crew member of the Nostromo encountered the species and was the only survivor for crew.
Okay.
So, this definitely takes place after the events of Alien. And, even the alien that we see in the science lab that's like hanging down and, with all of its acid blood gone from it.
Yeah.
That is the original alien, quote unquote, from the movie Alien.
Okay. Which is a very good tie to like the series. Like you see it all pertaining to one.
Yeah, so in that also,
but the timeline just feels thrown off a little bit to me.
Not as bad as Prometheus or Covenant threw it off.
Yeah, they threw it off quite a lot.
Yes, they definitely threw things and made it more confusing.
Because if you look at the earlier Alien movies, and I don't remember which one this is, you might, but if you look at some of the Alien movies, the one where they come to Earth is more modern. It's not as futuristic as it is portrayed in.
Are you thinking of Alien vs. Predator?
If that's the one I'm thinking of.
Because Alien vs. Predator takes place in like the early 2000s.
Okay, so you know how the world looks like. It's more modern.
Yeah.
But when you look at everything else, it's more futuristic.
Like an alternate 2000, I guess.
Well, if you look at Prometheus and Covenant, the world's futuristic because David remembers his father and everything's like flying cars and ships. And then when you look at earlier then, it's like, so where does this tie in?
Right. And I think that's, the big flaw of these, the Prometheus and Covenant is they really threw the whole timeline into a mix. Because, when did the Wayland Corporation discover the Xenomorphs and discover the eggs? Yeah. And that's always something I've always had in the back of my mind. Did they discover it from David? after the events of Covenant.
I don't know.
And, that's never properly explained. I mean, it could be explained in that book.
It could be.
Thousands of alien books at this point.
Oh, probably. But yeah, the timeline to me is just confusing. Because, going back to, you said Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Now, this also pertains, what I'm going to talk about is also to the evolution of the, you probably know where I'm going to go with this, the evolution of the facehugger to the Xenomorph. If you look in Alien vs. Predator, the hospital scene, for those who have seen or have not, there's a scene where a whole room of pregnant women are getting ready for birth. There's an alien that comes in. This dude scared the heck out of me when I was a kid. And literally impregnated the women. There was no facehugger. So how is that possible compared to facehugger and the Xenomorph?
I've only seen Alien vs. Predator once or twice. So I can't really, I don't know too much about those movies. When it comes to the, Alien vs. Predators, I've always liked the aliens more. I found them more creepy, more scary than the Predators.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've seen all the Predator movies, but I've seen the Alien franchise more.
Okay.
I was going to say something, I can't remember. I keep going to what you're saying.
But, so, I get that the facehugger gives you touch the cedar, so I'm wondering do the Xenomorphs have genders? Because I'm wondering if, like, that one was a female just putting her eggs into the women.
I mean, they do have, the queen.
Well, they do have the queen, but how do you explain that whole scenario?
So the queen's only in Aliens.
There's in like 2 movies, I think, because there's like 2 different queens.
There's also a queen in Alien Resurrection.
I was gonna say.
No, you're right. There is a queen in Alien Resurrection. I don't really know how to explain it.
Yeah, they don't really explain it. It's hard to understand the whole process, but there's probably somebody out there that understands all of this.
Oh yeah, and they, honestly, probably make things up as they go along here.
Probably. We're just going off of our experience. We don't know much about this, though.
I mean, I haven't read any of the books.
I haven't either. So I'm just going off of watching the movie.
But going back to this movie in particular, this movie definitely did a lot of things right. It had that good tension in it, and it had, some good scales in it. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is throughout the movie, you think you're only dealing with one Xenomorph, and then near like the middle of the second act, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, repeat that question.
Near like the middle of the second act is when we get to like the basement.
Oh yes.
And we see, the den, I guess is what you would call it.
The den or the hatch?
Yeah, because you see something similar in Alien. It's in a deleted scene, I believe. But Ripley goes to the ship and she sees, all of her crew members.
Yes. Oh, you're referring to that room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see like this den, and then that's when you kind of get the sense like, oh crap, you're dealing with multiple of these xenomorphs, and they just all start coming. And it's a really cool scene to see all that unfold.
So here's another thing. Where did all those xenomorphs come from? Because there wasn't that much of there was like a small cast.
Well, I'm guessing from the crew of the Romulus.
So what, they just been on there this entire time?
I mean, you see it was very quick, but you do see some faces of the crew.
Yes.
So I'm guessing they all just got chest boosts at some point.
At some point. So there's been xenomorphs on this entire ship the entire time.
Yes.
So they could have came for them at any moment.
But I also think that, they were a different part of the ship, so they probably just didn't heal them.
Possible.
Because, I mean, this ship was really big.
Oh, yeah. Because they were running around it a lot.
Yeah, and you have to remember, an Alien, the Nostromo is really big. You only see the alien like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie.
That is true.
And, this movie definitely takes that into effect, more is less inside this movie. You don't see the alien.
Yeah, because you don't want
whole
to
lot.
like throw a whole bunch of aliens at this movie and just expect like world domination kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So it's definitely more is less, which is from the original Alien.
Yeah. Oh, I had a question. I completely forgot about it. I'm surprised they didn't bring in the whole, kill with fire. Like that was not like in other movies they killed the xenomorph.
But they did something different. They killed it with cryo.
Yeah.
Which was really cool,
It's the opposite though.
Yeah.
So
but
I
it's
guess
still,
intense cold, intense heat can kill this thing.
but does fire really kill it? I mean,
it does do harm to it.
It does harm to it, but we've never really seen it die in the fire unless it was like some type of explosion.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the only way back then they could think of to kill it.
Yeah.
Because that would kill it probably better than shooting it, because shooting it would just cause acid flying around.
Yeah. But I'm also thinking of in Alien Isolation is, you can't kill the xenomorph with your flamethrower. You have to, it only scales it off for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, this movie definitely took heavy inspiration from that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of utilities that I saw from it. They had like the phone to save system, the boat that I can't think of what it does, but like the boat that will do this every now and then.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what kind of bird was again. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I just saw a few.
It clicked in my mind, but I just can't remember the whole purpose of the bird.
And I think it was like some noise distractor.
That's what it was.
Alien Isolation, but it had some of that inside it.
Now, another thing, I'm surprised they only kept the humanoid xenomorphs in this one, because the ones actually stand up. Because if you look at previous ones, there's like a hound xenomorph.
Yeah, that was Alien 3.
Yeah, there's like a hound. There's so many of them. It's hard to remember. I just remember that there's ones that are like a hound. There's ones that crawl on fours. There's like an armored one.
But again, I think they knew what people wanted to see.
Yeah.
People wanted to go back to the roots. They wanted.
Yeah, they're not going to stray as long to like these random different breeds.
No. And, people. The director knew people wanted Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
He knew he wanted that scale factor back into this franchise.
Oh, they did a good job bringing the isolation of the whole don't make a sound.
Oh yeah, and especially in the scene that we mentioned earlier, the face hugger scene. Because you have this room with what 70 face huggers inside it.
A good majority.
And like you're going through this room, so they turn up the heat, and you go through this room, and you just have to be dead quiet.
Yeah, if you make one sound, they would sense you.
Yeah,
and it was, of course, the man. What was his name? The guy who plays what? Tyler.
No, it was. Oh yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. The character Tyler pulls one of the stupid moves in this entire movie where, let me turn on my microphone and talk to somebody.
No, Kay contacted him.
Well, yeah, contacted him, but he started talking. He still talks. You're in a room where he said, "You gotta be quiet."
And the entire time they throw the microphone across the room, just throw it.
I was hoping that what's her name?
Rain.
Rain would go over there, grab it, and just chuck it away from him. I was really hoping for that.
I was kind of surprised that she or Andy didn't do that. And I want to talk about Andy as a character very quickly. Okay. So he's the main android of the film, besides Rook. But he's like the one who's like with the crew walking around. And
basically the one who speaks mother, right?
Yes. And he had a very interesting character arc throughout the film.
Yeah.
So he starts off as like this really shy, I'm not going to hurt a single living person.
Like he was a later model, wasn't he? Like he's an old model, but he was one that like was neglected. Basically, if you've ever seen, what was that game with the androids? It had like the little ring inside their face.
Oh, Beyond Human, is that what it's called?
I don't remember. That's what I'm trying to ask you. There's a game. It's like something that takes place in Detroit. Was it called Detroit? Maybe.
Something. I know the game you're thinking
Okay.
of.
So if anyone has ever played that or looked at the characters, if you see the ones that gained human personality, or if you ever seen iRobot, very good, iRobot,
Mm.
he was the one that was trashed aside and had more feeling towards humans. He felt more human than if you ever looked at like Prometheus, Covenant, or the earlier ones with the androids. He felt more connected to the human side than
Yes.
robotics. Like he didn't feel like he was taking commands.
No, not until they put the chip in it from Rook,
Yes.
who had access to the ship, and then started taking commands from Brooke on studying the xenomorphs and studying the spray thing that they had inside these containers. That was supposed to like make humans a perfect organism.
It was supposed to be the spore cell, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was a chromosome. That's what it is. It's a xenomorph chromosome. Jesus.
And I'm going to touch more based on that after this.
Yes.
But so he kind of turns evil for a while. But I really like the whole flip scenario.
Yeah, because at the very beginning, he's very down to earth. He's got dad jokes.
Yes.
He's got some good dad jokes.
Yes, he did. But so like there's one scene with the character Kay, I believe, who is Tyler's girlfriend or wife.
No, sister.
Sister, that's it. And she's like, let me in, let me in. And they all want to let her in, but Andy's the only one who can let her in. And so it's like a complete flip on the scene in Alien.
You know what's surprising about that entire scene?
What?
It reminded me of, I believe it was Covenant. I know we keep going back to this, but Covenant, you remember the scene where the woman's in the room and the thing just burst out of his back or her back?
Yes.
And they're like, let me out, let me out. That whole scene was like a complete repeat to me.
Yes, but I also got more of the alien vibe, when Ash, the android and alien, lets the, infected member Kane on board the ship.
Yeah.
But Andy knew if he left the door open, the xenomorph would grab her and kill all of them.
Yeah.
Because you could see the xenomorph like in the background just watching.
Yes.
And
I still, every time I see them like screaming at each other through that door, it's that entire scene.
No, it was definitely also it's very similar to that. And then the xenomorph just comes up and grabs her from behind.
Yeah.
And then it was such a good scene on how it played out. And we later on find out that she's still alive.
Oh yeah, because they don't kill them because they try to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Because as long as they're alive, it gives more
chance for a facehugger to
facehugger to grab on and put the seed.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, later on in the movie, Rain removes the chip to save Andy, and he becomes like this friendly android again.
Yeah, he goes back to his original character.
Yeah. So it's just like a really weird character arc for him.
Yeah, because his arc goes up and down. You don't know whether he's being good or bad.
And during the opening, I was like, okay, is this character going to be bad? Are they going to go that route? Because most of these movies, the androids aren't good people.
Androids are just basically iRobots.
I mean, there's some of the androids inside these movies are good. You have Bishop.
Well, you have good ones, but correct me if I'm wrong. They're kind of like iRobot, where they just want to kill the humans.
No, they see humans as imperfect.
Oh, so
and they see Alien, the xenomorphs, as this perfect organism, like I said. So you see a lot more of this. I'm trying to think, yo. I lost my train of thought.
I got you on the puzzles there, don't I?
But like you see them, seeing the humans as expendable. You know, like yes,
They can't age. Humans can age pretty much.
yes,
And xenomorphs are immortal.
yes.
Well, almost immortal.
I mean, honestly, we don't know if they die of old age.
No, we don't, but we do know they're killable.
Yes, but they're hard to kill.
They are hard to kill because they're pretty much like an ant and a spider and everything else. Because it's reversed. I know, it's reversed. It's the bones are on the outside.
Yeah.
And everything's soft is on the inside. For us, it's reversed.
Yes. So during the movie, I was like, is he going to be? Is he going to be bad?
I was expecting for it to be like a plot twist, like he speaks to mother, but like mother infects him kind of deal.
And that's kind of what happened.
Yes, but not in the way we thought.
No, not in the way we thought it was. But it's definitely cool to see more of the biology of the android.
Now, again, going back to the character Rook. Rook was he was CGI in the movie, but
Yes.
he is the guy who played Ash.
So in Home, the actor who played Ash in Alien passed away back in 2020. So I'm not sure how they did it.
It's probably CGI. Like you,
I mean CGI. It was definitely CGI.
It's pretty much how they did like Schmiegel, how they had to do the whole the
yes.
CGI face.
Yes. I mean it was good CGI. It wasn't bad in any means.
There's a slight. I watch a lot of movies and I could see like a little bit of flaws. This one, the CGI, you could tell it was CGI.
You could tell.
You could tell.
You could tell.
There was no blending into the background. There was no giving it contrast.
But I do think some of those things probably did have like an actual model too.
Probably.
At least when he wasn't talking and stuff.
Hmm.
So, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, so you saw this android, who we've always, whenever we see him, like he's bad. Because he tried killing Ripley inside the original movie. So he's the same model, but not the same android.
Yeah, different name.
Yes.
So, should we go to the more disturbing parts? Or do you want to continue on?
So, there's a lot that connects throughout the other movies. I mean, you have some of the aliens inside there, some of this, I'm gonna go guns a blazing type moments.
Oh yeah, the guns a blazing scene was not bad. That was very intense.
And then I also want to talk about the whole, turning off the gravity pod and like going through the acid blood. That was a cool scene to see.
That was impressive, to be honest.
That was very impressive.
The zero gravity feature into this movie.
And it's something we've never, correct me if I'm wrong, we've never seen it inside an alien movie before.
Not that I can remember or recall.
Yeah. So it was definitely a really cool moment inside the film. But so there's a lot that connected throughout the other movies.
Yeah.
And one of the things, that definitely ran in my mind was the newborn inside Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about this one? Since you're such a fan of it.
Okay, so before I go talking about newborn, so again, I'm going to bring up Alien vs. Predator. We see that scene where the pregnant women are attacked and their stomachs are bursted open, and it's just a pool of seeds for the xenomorphs. Okay, and a newborn, right? It's newborn. Is that what you said?
That's Alien Resurrection.
Oh, okay. So that's what it was called. Ripley is the one. Okay. Ripley is the one that gave birth to the newborn. Not Ripley, but
it was like a
clone.
Yeah, some type of clone 8, I believe.
Yeah, gave birth to this thing. That thing was just very disturbing. It reminded me of Pumpkinhead.
I could see that.
Like the features, it reminded me of Pumpkinhead every time we see it.
I could see that, but honestly, it was definitely a different aspect of that movie I appreciate.
Doesn't it talk too, if I remember correctly?
I don't think so.
I could have sworn it talks. Not like like it said mom or something.
Not that I recall.
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it, but newborn, that gave you like a perspective of like what it would be like for a humanoid xenomorph. Like that gave the more human feature.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the flesh tone. It was just It was just basically.
I don't think it had a tail.
It had no tail. It just had the weird head.
Yeah. But it had like that pale white skin.
And the xenomorph features, almost all of the features.
Yeah.
And so you want to bring up today's.
So in this one,
this one's just.
So I want to say like near the beginning of the third act, Kay, for whatever decision, decides to inject herself with that.
Well, before we go to that part, her character was pregnant.
Yes.
But we found out early in the movie that she's pregnant.
And she had morning sickness.
She had morning sickness, yes. Now, again, like you were saying, there was this liquid that Xenomorph. I'm like messing up the chromosomes from the Xenomorph. She injected herself with that.
Yes, and I was trying to figure out like why would you do that? And I saw you make a face too. You kind of like what the heck did you do?
Yeah, I was like, why? Why? Because everyone said, because her best friend literally said, don't do this. This would be a bad idea. Yeah. She had a feeling. And we even got a prequel of what would happen. We got a little sideshow of what would happen to them.
But the other characters didn't see that.
No, they didn't. No one saw it.
Yeah. Because Rook was hiding from them.
Yes. And when I saw that, I was like, this is not going to end well.
No. And I was trying to figure out, like, what on earth, how would that connect to the everything else? And then I was like, oh, then they found Kay, and I was like, they're going to inject her. So I thought they were going to inject her right then and there.
If she had gone on the ship, that's where she injected herself. She should have just gone straight to the pods.
Yes. And so she injects herself, and, not David, Andy and Rain come back to the ship after, battering all the xenomorphs and basically throwing them out into outer space.
Was it outer space, or was they smashed them with the elevator, though?
Some of them probably did go to outer space because of the whole gravity coming down and the acid falling onto the thing. So, they go inside the cryopods, and for Kay's cryopod starts beeping. And so they pull out, and she's like giving birth.
Yeah, now she was not even like 9 months pregnant at all.
She was barely shortly.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
she was fairly early.
I'd say like what, like a month pregnant?
Yeah, if that.
Like there was no bump whatsoever. It was just sickness. This girl ended up 9 months pregnant within a matter of minutes or seconds.
Yeah. Well, probably, a solid hour.
Yeah, because she had the chromosome, which probably boosted this.
Yeah. So she gave birth to this baby, basically.
Well, not the baby.
Well, it looked like the baby.
No, it was a pod first.
Yeah, it was a pod, and then Rain is trying to throw it out in an airlock because she's like, no, I'm not dealing with this again. And, it starts like spewing acid, I guess.
Yeah, it's the acid in the sack.
Yeah, so she drops it, and, you see baby face. It looks like a baby, and it falls through the ship into like this cargo container thing. So
this is the part where the movie just gets weirder.
Yes, but I can appreciate for what it's trying to do.
I get what it's trying to do, but it's just so disturbingly wrong.
And it really was. So it gave birth to this when I looked up, it said offspring.
Okay, offspring.
Yes.
This one doesn't have a name yet. It's just called offspring.
Yeah, so this is just called offspring according to the internet. I don't know if that's the official name for this.
Yeah, so it's not like deacon or queen or wherever.
Or newborn. Like it's just called offspring, which makes sense, I guess. So you deal with like this offspring character at the end of the movie, during the third act. And I mean, honestly, it was really creepy looking.
The evolution of it
was very quick.
It was very quick. Like, it did not go through any shedding cycle. It didn't go through any.
No.
this thing just went from infant to adult man in a matter of minutes.
And it was tall.
It was tall.
It was really tall.
Which,
Granted, some xenomorphs are tall, but like this one just felt like
this one had the height of, what were they called again? From
the engineers.
The engineers, yes. It had the height of the engineers.
Yes, it did.
And this thing, the way that it crawled gave me such creepy vibes.
I don't think I noticed that.
When it crawled towards the woman that gave birth to it.
Oh, I guess it did.
Yeah, because it was Andy. Andy's the one who tried to hold it down, like he was putting his hands on it, just right there, and it just
away. So did Andy survive? Well, I guess he did.
Well, Ransom did she repair him?
Yeah.
His body survived.
Yeah.
The ship survived. They just got to repair him.
But going back to this offspring.
The offspring killed its mother.
Yeah, so it was like sucking like her blood or something. It wasn't acting like, a xenomorph. Like
it had the tongue though, but a human tongue.
Yeah. But it looked like he was like sucking her or something, almost.
Yeah, it wasn't injecting anything in her.
No, at least not that what it looked like. So I was expecting her to transform.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that too, because we saw that one scene.
Yeah, because we saw the rat transform inside the lab, or mouse, or whatever it was.
It was a rat.
So I was expecting her to transform, not to give birth to this thing.
Oh yeah, that just gives a whole new meaning to parasite.
Yeah, no kidding.
This thing had features of Xenomorph, just not complete features.
And it had a baby. It had like
it had a human head.
It had a human head, but
just not in the back of the head.
Just joking.
It had the face of the engineer. It had a face of the engineer. If you really look at it.
It did.
If you compare it side by side.
No, you're right. It did. It really
did. It slowly grew a tail.
It did?
Yeah, after it was feeding on its mom, you could see the tail start to grow.
Okay, I guess I missed that.
Oh, you didn't see that part?
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
Oh.
So they eventually ejected out into the airlock, which, I realized this during the movie. That's basically the main source of getting rid of these xenomorphs.
Yeah, it's ejected to the back of space.
Yes. Because,
it's intense cold.
It is, and it works, honestly. Like, hasn't failed in the past, but I was like, okay, can we think of a different way to, get rid of these things than throwing them out into space?
These are on space. No matter where you find them, they're in space.
Yeah.
They don't even have a planet yet.
Well, they do. Really.
Well, they really do. But yes, but how often do you see them like on that planet?
You saw them aliens on that planet. Okay, fair. Yeah, so you throw it out in space, and then it jump scares you, which got you.
Yeah, that was the second time it got.
And that one got you really hard too.
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting. Because all you're seeing is Rain trying to climb back into the ship, and all of a sudden, out of the cloud of smoke or debris, this thing just comes out of nowhere.
Yes, and that means, to be fair, it also got me really badly too.
Now, here's another thing before we continue. When you're in a theater and you jump scare from any scene, the common response is a flinch. We had people directly behind us, literally kick our seats. Like, what did I have? The old man behind me?
I don't know.
We're watching one scene, and I'm just scratching my face because I think I had like popcorn in my beer or something. And this was which jump scare was this one?
I thought it was the one where no. I thought it was the one where Tyler got impaled by a tail.
Okay, so it was Tyler, not the girl.
It was either the girl, like Kay, or Tyler getting impaled.
Okay.
So, I don't remember which one though.
So yeah, I'm just scratching away. Oh, hold on, we got a little dilemma here.
We're good.
Okay.
She's good.
Okay. All right. So during that entire thing, during that scene, I'm scratching or picking out popcorn from my goatee or beard, and the man behind me literally kicks my seat. And Graham's looking at me like, "Did you just jump?"
Well, and so I looked at him because I kind of like flinched at the scene. It didn't really get me too badly. But I looked at him like, because it looked like he jumped like really hard. I was like, are you good?
Yeah, and I'm just scratching him. I'm like, I seriously got kicked in my back. And yeah, I understand it's a common response, but have some courtesy. Don't kick the people in front. At least just do a quick
But
switch your arms or something.
he could have also been like moving, just hit your seat too.
He could have, but it was
I
like
mean,
perfectly timed.
It was a really good time because my seat also got kicked. So he could have been just moving, kick both of our seats on.
Yeah, he could have.
So going back to like the whole ending, the off-screen jumps out, which gets me and Hayden, and its face is like melting almost. I don't know if you caught that, but like
it was melting.
It was peeling like off.
Well, because it was burning and it's also freezing from like lack of oxygen. It's basically like Deadpool like losing the oxygen in his skin.
Yeah. So it was like this really gross, and eventually he just ends up in space, and Rain climbs up inside back into the ship.
Yeah.
And gives a little send off, and goes in quiet over bed and drifts off.
Yeah. And then we're back to being in peace here.
But one thing I want to talk about before we start wrapping up is the character of Rain. So much like Ripley. You have this average character who I'm going to talk about Ripley here. So you have this average character because the beginning of the movie you don't know who the main character is in Alien. Like not until
the very end.
I mean, really not until Dallas dies.
Not very end, but like close.
When Dallas dies in Alien, you kind of start guessing who the main character is.
Yeah.
And that's a solid hour and 20 minutes into the movie that you don't know who the main character is. And it's a really impressive thing for, a movie at that time. And Ripley, starts off as this average woman, not doing a whole lot, to just become this, like, environment of, a Xenomorph kill.
Yeah.
By the end. And, I really got that vibe off of Rain. I know you and I were kind of talking about that before the podcast, too. So you want to share your thoughts?
I'm trying to remember that. We talked so much. I mean, her character was really good, to be honest. It really drew you in. God, where do I want to go with this? I'd say her character development like really caught through. Like you didn't.
She was definitely the strongest character.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'd say.
I mean, there's also no bad performances inside this cast.
No, there isn't.
Except, I mean, there's really only 6 members of the cast.
Yeah, there's 6.
And, I mean, none of them are really weak. I mean, of course, you have the one that, like, okay, she's...
Yeah, she died quick.
But that was also spoiled in the trailer, too.
That was spoiled in the trailer, but she didn't last, 15 minutes of screen time?
I mean, yeah, she probably only had, 15, 20 minutes of that. But I mean, we kind of knew that was coming anyway.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that was a solid 40 minutes into the film anyway. And then we have, whoever Spike plays, just the complete.
I think that was how do you pronounce her name?
That's a boy.
Yes. Spike is the Aline Wu's boyfriend. They were boyfriend girlfriend because you could see the chemistry between the two.
Yes.
Like they really tied into the chemistry of the characters.
Oh yeah, they really did, and that was such a cool aspect to see.
Like you could see who they had feelings for and who they didn't.
Because Spike, was like, no, we're not going to leave on the ship, and we're not going to leave because that's my girlfriend. And again, it was
he really pulled the boyfriend guard card.
He really did, yes.
Yeah, because he wanted to protect her quick after that.
Yeah, and
and he decided to just fuck it up.
It was a whole play on the in the movie Alien. It's just a whole play on that. Same dilemma. Do we leave them? Do we not leave them? I don't know where I was going with the rest of my thoughts. But yeah, so there's really no bad performances, and it's all a solid cast.
Yes. Now, everyone that's listening might have their own different opinion, but for us, we think that they had a really good cast for this one. There was no dilemma. There was no. It was just an alien movie. There was nothing else.
I mean, this felt like the most alien movie since Aliens.
Yes. There was no sidetrack mission. There was no side story trying to piece all this. This just felt like a one-way ticket alien movie.
Yes, and I really think we need more of this type inside the future. I
We've
want
seen this in other movies as well, not just aliens.
Yes,
in future movies, we needed one direct line, no side piece. There's no random hidden messages. We just need a direct storyline.
Yes. I mean, we don't want all this backstory, on how the Xenomorphs got made and all of that, that Prometheus and Alien Covenant will so focus on.
Yeah.
We want to see the aliens coming out of someone and going on a killing spree.
Now, before we finish this up, I think you told me this. What was the point of the stories again? Like the hidden message behind the director or the writer?
Oh, the sexual undertone?
Yeah. They really captured it in this movie, to be honest.
Yes.
They was really captured, especially in the other ones. Some of the other ones, other alien movies.
Yes.
But this one really,
especially near the end, like giving birth and all that.
Oh yeah, she really did not want that name near her.
No, I don't blame her though.
Yeah, that was a little soon.
But no, overall, I really did enjoy this movie. I'm definitely looking forward to watching it again. I don't know what your closing thoughts will be, but
I know I'm not letting her watch it. I'll probably watch it again. I'll give it another go because I don't mind the Alien franchise. I don't mind the Predator franchise. I'll just watch it on a whim.
For me, Alien, I've told you this before, but Alien is definitely one of my favorite franchises in horror.
See, for me, it'd be Conjuring or Insidious.
And I mean, to be fair, those are good too, but Alien for me is just so scary.
Now, for the horror aspect or for the sci-fi aspect? Just curious.
Both. I like both.
Okay.
I mean, Alien and Aliens, I can watch anytime I want. I mean, to be fair, I don't watch a lot of the other movies, but I've seen. It's the only horror franchise I've seen all the movies. Actually, Paranormal Activity, I've seen all the movies too.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one, sir.
Yeah. But I really did enjoy this movie.
I enjoyed it too. It was fun. I have to admit, if you haven't seen it and you want to go see it, go see it. It's worth the watch.
And there's a lot we didn't cover on this.
Oh yeah, there's a lot we didn't cover because
I mean
time wise, yeah, because we're trying to keep our first video under at least close to an hour long for viewers. Oh well, that's nothing.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap this up, we are going to try to do this on future topics of whether it's a game, movies, hit stories like, how would you say, like a horror story that's mentioned.
Bright Eyes.
Yeah, I could talk about my experience of Bright Eyes. That's worth podcast if you want to do that one.
Yeah.
We can mention our own experiences. I do have a book of Celtic horror stories.
I think I gave it to you.
No, this is one we bought from Bargain.
Okay.
That one actually has a so in my family we are not directly related, but are related to a clan in Ireland called the O'Kellys.
Okay.
In this book actually has one of our horror stories that pertain to the family.
And that'll be fun to discuss.
I would not mind talking about that because I know that story. I grew up reading that story before. So we can talk about that one. And then we talk about like random horror news too.
Yeah. And definitely upcoming horror movies coming out. I know we want to talk about
that's the horror news I'm talking about, like upcoming ones.
Yeah, Smile 2 is coming out, and the most one that we saw that we're like, yes.
Oh. Well, there was Blink Twice, there was Smile 2, and then there was that
There was a trailer coming out.
I know which one you're talking about because it has the guy from Splice in it. Not Splice. What's the one that has multiple different personalities?
Split?
It's Split. It has the guy from Split, the guy who plays Xavier, and next I can't remember his name. You probably.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, you're looking up. Okay.
Is it James?
Show me a picture.
Okay, she's saying yes.
Okay. Yeah, that movie.
Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil. Yes, that movie was really intense. That really drew me in.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that one too, and then there's some stuff coming out in 2025 that I want to talk about.
We will do like probably a podcast before the movie goes to the movie, or we'll just do it after.
Yeah,
just after. We also want to do Halloween movies as well.
Yes, with the Halloween franchise, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Because the Halloween franchise is the biggest running Halloween franchise out of all the horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah. So not the entire
franchise. We're not going to do the entire franchise. But it is the longest running movie series.
And it's still.
It still is. Because who knows? There's going to probably be another one next year. Who knows?
If there could be. Yeah, no, like Chucky would be another one that I would like to talk about.
For me, it'd be Friday the 13th. I loved Friday the 13th series.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. But yeah, if you guys have any topics, you can let us know on what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, just leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know what your ideas are. We will in the future have guests on the show and have them give their opinions on such as well.
Yeah. Our friend Miranda wants to talk about FNAF with us. So we're going to talk about that franchise. I want to talk about the Amnesia video game franchise at some point.
Yeah. What's another? I'm trying to think of other franchises. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Because horror's a big topic in the world.
Yeah.
Because horror does like go back to our roots of basic, like it's the lore of pretty much of everything. There's always bound to be a horror lore or scary lore. Like horror stories were common back then. We had the Salem witch trials. There's always something related to it.
Yes.
No matter how far back, you can go back to like Jack the Ripper for crying out.
Alright, so remember, this is the Graveyard Shift. What two idiots talked about